26 miles off the coast of Southern California lies the island of Santa Catalina. A unique team of psychics and scientists has gathered here. Aided by the world's most advanced deep ocean technology, they will attempt history's first experiment in undersea psychic archaeology. 3/4 of the globe is covered by vast oceans. Undersea archaeology faces the problem of discovering artifacts from depths ranging down to 7 miles. Low light, shifting sand, and growing coral often obscure the outline of objects beneath the sea. The very act of diving is fraught with danger and difficulty. Man was not made to recover history underwater. Advanced equipment such as this undersea robot and this ocean power generator have solved some difficulties. But even technology cannot answer the most critical challenge: where to look, where to find the objects which unlock the closed chapters of our past. Perhaps the answer lies not with machines, but within ourselves. Can some strange and as yet unexplained psychic ability help us to see that which is concealed from ordinary vision? In prehistoric times, Santa Catalina was once part of Southern California. Free from pollution, the island is an ideal location for oceanographers. It is the home of the Institute for Marine and Coastal Studies, an internationally renowned center for the scientific study of the seas. It was here that an unusual team of psychics and scientists, known as the Mobius Group, came to demonstrate a never-before-tested psychic ability. Using an extraordinary new research submarine, the team would attempt to prove that man's psychic capabilities could indeed reveal the ocean's secrets. Organizing this experiment is philosopher and parapsychologist Stephen Schwartz of the Philosophical Research Society in Los Angeles. Author of The Secret Vaults of Time, he is determined to see that psychic archaeology is accepted as a modern scientific discipline. He has researched accounts of psychic investigations being used to discover archaeological sites on land. Based on this research, he now posed a startling question. Could psychic talents, he wonders, also be used for the more difficult problem of locating objects on the ocean's floor? To answer this question, he organized Project Deep Quest.
I chose the sea because it offered a chance to close all the loopholes. If Deep Quest was going to be successful, the only explanation would be that we obtained information from psychic sources. In 10 years of research, I had examined the work of about 75 scientists all around the world. It had never been done before. Nobody had ever tried a deep ocean psychic archaeology experiment, but I was convinced it would work.
As real as a person is the research submarine, Taurus 1. This 34-foot-long electric-powered $3 million submersible is perfectly suited for the experiment Schwartz has in mind. With her large viewport, more than 1,000-foot depth limit, and the ability to retrieve objects from the sea floor, Taurus 1 offers the Mobius Group a real chance to prove their psychic claims. For months, Taurus 1 has dived off Catalina, carrying out a wide range of marine biological and geophysical undersea experiments. Now she will face a task of a different order: to prove that the psychic predictions about an undersea site are true. Al Whitcomb, Taurus 1's pilot, will play an important role if Deep Quest is to succeed.
Al, we believe that somewhere in these waters we're going to make a psychic hit. About how far out can we go and get a reasonable day's dive?
Well, our first limitation would be the diving depth capability of the submersible, which is 300 meters or 1,000 feet. After that, considering our tow out and our tow in, I say let's stay within the 2-mile range, and it gives us a good working day.
So it's somewhere over in here would be ideal if we go out that far.
This appeared at first hand to many of our boys as just one of those mad ventures. I did persuade the boys that, you know, it was a viable thing, it could be fun, and we were going to give these guys all the encouragement we could.
For all his enthusiasm, Whitcomb knows from past dives that the odds are against success.
We'd spent about 20 diving days in the area. We'd covered a lot of ground. We hadn't seen anything other than just a few scraps on the bottom. It was flat, and just a few rocks, a few bits of seaweed, and certainly a multitude of fish, but otherwise nothing.
Can a newly discovered psychic ability, known as remote viewing or distant viewing, locate previously undiscovered objects? The Mobius team turns to psychic Ingo Swann. Like all psychics selected by Schwartz, New York-based Swann would not describe himself primarily as a psychic. Swann's description would be a painter. He is an artist whose works hang in the Smithsonian Institution. His psychic powers, though, have penetrated 30 feet of concrete and special shielding to stop the functioning of electronic apparatus. He has also accurately described conditions on Mars, Mercury, and Jupiter, which were later proven correct by NASA's space probes. An artist he may be, but it was as a psychic that he undertook Deep Quest's assignment.
Well, it takes a lot of guts to accept a challenge like this. Now, Deep Quest, of course, was an ideal type of experiment along these lines where the psychics involved could sort of get into it at a creative level and discover things very distant from themselves, and then go find out if they were really there.
The task Schwartz assigns the psychics: use your powers to locate an archaeological site of your choosing in the waters off Catalina. Identify specific objects within the site, draw pictures of what the objects look like, explain their history.
This isn't an easy thing to do. At first, you have to work up to it, you know, and sort of separate yourself from the physical environment and become, as it is, psychic for that particular task, and then do it.
Swann has never been to Catalina, is not an expert on nautical history, and has been given no other guidance but the chart and the questions. Using only his psychic insight, he develops a list of items he believes are on the ocean floor.
Like that straight. Okay.
Hella Hammond is the other psychic involved. She and Swann are regarded by many as the most successfully tested psychics in the United States.
I think that's about right.
Like Swann, she has no familiarity with Catalina or marine archaeology.
People think of a psychic as somebody who's wearing a turban and has a crystal ball. I don't think of myself as a psychic. I'm a photographer, and I've been very interested in psychic functioning, and I guess I've spent a lot of time trying to learn how to be more receptive and more tuned to that other world that exists. To me, psychic is just to really be aware, not things with trappings. So I would rather call it to being very, very aware. I just sort of look at the map, not as much with my eyes as sort of get the feeling of it. And I tend to feel a heaviness in certain areas. I can't describe it any other way. It just sort of gets heavy. And that's where I mark the map.
One of the charges leveled at psychic researchers is that experiments are rarely witnessed in their entirety by an uninvolved, credible observer. To meet this criticism, Dr. Ann Cale, whose NASA satellite work has gained her international respect, is asked to accompany the team and control all original documentation to avoid charges of fraud. The team is now complete. Reputations are on the line. Over the past 10 years, more than 4,000 dives have been made in this area. Is it conceivable that the most thoroughly studied depths on the California coast can still yield secrets to the past?